In a world consumed by noise and conformity, there exists a rare breed. A breed that defies the norm, challenges the status quo, and walks a path known only to the bold. Welcome to The Lone Wolf Achieves Greatness, a video that will ignite your spirit, awaken your inner strength, and empower you to embrace solitude like never before.
To truly appreciate the path of the lone wolf, we first must understand what it means to be one. The lone wolf isn't just some loner or somebody who just loves being in solitude. The lone wolf is a symbol. This symbol represents independence, resilience, and the unwavering commitment to stick to one's principles. It's a symbol for somebody who sticks to their own uniqueness, despite what others may think of them, or say about them, or may even do to them. And we can dive deep into culture and pop culture in regards to some examples. Through the likes of Leonardo da Vinci, Muhammad Ali, hell, even the Batman. We can see these individuals standing up for their own uniqueness, despite the consequences. But the lone wolf spirit isn't just limited to famous figures. We can see them in our everyday lives. The parent who provides endlessly for their child. The student who's chasing after their dreams. The man who takes action on his goals despite how he feels. These are all examples of the lone wolf. And you may be wondering to yourself, how can I harness the power of the lone wolf? Well, stay tuned, because in the upcoming segments, we're going to be breaking down the key attributes of a lone wolf, and as well as some practical strategies to make sure you implement the same power into your own lives.
You must embrace the solitude.
Society has a lone wolf painted as somebody who just prefers to be a loner, somebody who hates talking and who's antisocial. But in reality, the lone wolf just prefers peace. I'm the kind of person who doesn't need to be out and about all the time to feel like I'm having a good life. If I'm by myself, I'm doing what I want to do, I'm having a good time by myself, then I'm happy. I don't need to be in somebody's face all the time, showing fake love, trying to show people that I am what I say I am. The lone wolf derives his value from himself. I don't have to be validated by the outside world. My value comes from what I do and my principles and who I am as a man. I can't sit there at the function, be disturbed by the noise and all the bullshit going around and be perfectly happy. Most people in today's society, they fear being by themselves because they fear that people are having more fun without them. But if you're really somebody who stands on who they are, those are the moments you find peace the most and find yourself the most, is when you're by yourself. During these moments of silence and during these moments of solitude, you find the strength to continue on. You find desires that you never thought were possible. There's so many different things going on when you're by yourself if you're a lone wolf, and it really gives you the charge you need to get back into the actual social world that we live in. Once you really embrace this role of being by yourself, you're gonna see yourself self-improve without having to do much. You're gonna see yourself becoming way more consistent on who you are. You're not gonna have two different thoughts going on at the same time. A lot of times when you're out in society, you see these NPC type dudes. They're physically there, but mentally they're somewhere else. Whether it's working out alone, going on vacation by yourself, or even just sitting there in stillness for at least 10 minutes. You gotta find ways to implement the lone wolf mindset into your life. If the way you feel about yourself is based on how society looks at you, you are not independent. You are not gonna be able to survive the test of time, because when times get rough and people judge you, you're gonna crumble. You'll care too much about what people think for you to make the right moves at the right time. Being a man who decides to be by himself or make moves by himself takes a lot of strength and courage. It's not easy to say no to the external validation, especially when we're going on social media and always comparing ourselves to others. I was going to LA by myself. I was going to DC by myself. I did all these different things so I can get used to being by myself. So 3 months ago, I moved from Buffalo, New York to Houston, Texas. And as some of you may know, I went by myself. At first, I was very nerve-wracked. You know, when I first got to Houston, I was like, how am I gonna be able to go out to a bar by myself? I don't got my friend with me. You know, all these different things ran rampant in my head. The more I did these things and went out by myself, the more confidence I gained, knowing that if it's not me, then who's it gonna be? Friends or no friends, I'm still gonna be KJ regardless. And that brings me ultimate confidence, knowing that I can do things whether somebody's with me or not. But how can you be a man if you can only talk to a girl when you're with your friends? You gotta be able to stand on who you are. Stand amongst the challenges that come with it. Stand in the stillness of solitude. That's where you're gonna find your greatness at.
Solitude brings unwavering confidence.
The lone wolf possesses a belief in themselves that's unshakable. So when people throw judgments or opinions at them, it's pretty much just whispers in the wind. Judgments and opinions are purely subjective to the person that's saying them. So you sort of make these moves that are considered uncommon or just unrealistic, or however you want to put them. You'll start to see yourself becoming more and more confident in the fact that you believe in yourself. And so when people start judging you and things like that, you don't care, because you know that a lazy mind cannot relate to what you're doing.
You must take calculated risk.
In the realm of the lone wolf, there's a distinct trait that stands out amongst the rest. We take calculated risk. And it is this exact trait that makes us stand out amongst the pack of other dudes out here. We don't rush into decisions. We don't make quick, hasty, dumb moves. We make calculated moves based on what we see and what's going on around us. Because as a lone wolf, there's nobody around for the most part besides us unless we're out and about. So some of these guys you see that are out and about by themselves are some of the most smart people that are on the planet. These guys are so calculated and they make such strategic decisions that they can go ahead here and make the right move. The only downfall is that some of these men will fail to take action because they're sitting there for too long thinking about what to do instead of just doing it. So you need to learn how to really utilize the ability to make calculated decisions. Sometimes as a man, you gotta move quickly. So one of the key ways to utilize the strategy is a simple formula. The bigger the risk, the more calculated you are. If it's something simple as being rejected or looking stupid or anything like that, you shouldn't have to think too hard about it. Compare that to a situation where there's violence that could be involved or there's a lot of money that could be lost. At that point, you should be looking to be more calculated in those scenarios. So once you can get a really gauge on how that looks in your life and you get experience making calculated risk, the ability to really avoid situations and ultimately stay on the path of greatness becomes easier than ever. As we conclude the journey into the world of the lone wolf, we have explored the essence of this mindset. The courage to walk the path independently, the strength to stand alone in the times of adversity, and ultimately, the belief in oneself. We looked at the strategies involved as well. The ability to embrace solitude, the ability to have the unwavering confidence to do what you need to do, being able to take a calculated risk when the time is right. All these things are going to increase your greatness into what you're going to do next year. Throughout history, the lone wolf has left an undeniable mark on the world. Greatness often lies in the courage it takes to go against the tides of society, even if it means being alone. And so with that said, my name is KJ the Black Ace. Make sure you guys click subscribe. I post on here weekly, fire content around self-improvement. On top of that, follow my social media, in which you'll see me post daily on my story about different things going on and my opinions. You can always DM me on there too if you guys are having any problems in life. And with that said, holla back at me. Peace.